what Sensate Focus is. Sensate Focus is basically a sensory exercise where you're just touching somebody in a fun, slow, intimate way, and you're focusing on touch for your own pleasure. And a lot of times, so I have a video on Sensate Focus you can check out that's related to this, but basically there's ways you can use Sensate Focus in a sexual act, and I want to talk to you about how you can do that when you're having a sexual act. So say somebody is inside you or you're inside somebody, okay? We're going to talk about like during penetration, right? So you're having sex and you're wanting to create a different experience. So one way to create that different experience is to start touching your partner for your own pleasure, right? So if you're a person who is in the experience and being penetrated, then you start touching. If they're on top of you, you start touching them, and you start touching them this way and that way, but you're noticing what it sensory feels like in your hands to touch them as you're being in the experience of the sexual act. And again, if you're a penetrator, I don't care if you're the one side or the other, but if you're penetrating, again, you're not just noticing what it feels like to be inside of the person, but you're touching them and you're feeling your chest or your body against their body, and you're trying to just notice sensory detail as you touch and you're being touched. And really what you're doing is you're neutrally noticing your body as it's experiencing this sensory detail, and you're allowing yourself to be present with that experience and enjoy that experience. There's a lot of ways that even when we're having sex with each other, and I'm talking about P&V right now, even if you don't have sex that way, just like some sort of like you're just not fully in your body sometimes. I've noticed a lot of my clients aren't fully in their bodies. And so this Sensate Focus technique during a sex act is essentially getting you back into your sensory body and having you notice things like temperature, texture, or pressure. So if you're touching your partner's body with temperature in mind, here, I'm going to use on my hands on the couch here. If I'm staying in temperature, I'm noticing, oh, it's cool, it's smooth, it feels soft. If you're doing that on your partner's back, then you're noticing, oh, it's cool, it's soft, or it's smooth. That's if you're in temperature and you're noticing in your hands or your arms what temperatures their bodies are or I guess giving out, right? But then there's texture, right? So like if you're touching for texture, you notice the same thing. Like start touching a surface for the feeling of texture underneath you, just to play with or practice this. But then if you're touching your partner for their texture, you might notice rough spots or smooth spots. And like, again, you're just trying to get into your sensory body and you're just paying attention to the texture of their skin. And if you're playing with pressure, then you notice, what's it feel like when I give a firmer pressure versus a lighter pressure? What's it feel like when I touch this spot or this spot? Do I like being firmer, lighter? Do I like a little gentle graze? Again, there's no right or wrong to this. You're just learning to get into your sensory body and you're staying very neutral. And this is one way just to shake up the sexual experience and make it a little more fun. So if you are interested in more tips, please join me at my Dinner with a Sex Therapist event, which is coming up February 15th in St. Louis, Missouri. You can look up Eventbrite, Angela Skurtu, Dinner with a Sex Therapist to purchase tickets. I hope you'll join me because I'm going to teach you a lot of fun sex tips and tricks. And they're just going to be a variety of them, different ways to shake up your sex life and shift the way you do it. And it's meant to be a fun, playful, relaxed atmosphere. So please join me, and thank you for joining me for this live stream. Thank you.